All right, guys. I just wanted to review what themes and macros look like and how we can edit them. I know that we have a new theme, new series. Every time there's a new series, we may end up running into problems similar to this. So I wanted to resource us that way. If it does happen on a Sunday morning or on a random event, we're able to address it. So I know things look a little bit weird. It's just because I'm remoting into our Broadcast Mac Mini, but essentially everything is the same. One of the things that we see here, and I'm just going to make it larger for us to address, Joey Furjanic / lead pastor, our title and our role title, so our name and our role title are kind of like not framed right on this new theme. So you could think, oh man, I have to go in and edit this slide. But if you look over, everything looks fine. So I wonder what it is. Let's go ahead and first check what this macro, we see this little purple macro is, and make sure it's the right macro. It does say message host PCO, which is what we usually use for any of our normal message host things in the Northeast. Okay, so we've got message host on there. And when we click it and go to something, we still see this weird theme. So what it likely is that it is a old theme that wasn't added to the macro. So we're just going to go to message host PCO right here. We're going to 2-finger click or right click if you have a mouse, and we're going to go and hit edit actions, message host, and then we see all these different little audience looks. We're actually going to open audience looks to figure out what theme is being added. So in the Northeast, we've got broadcast and projectors, but we're looking specifically for our projector theme. So if I click into here, it says Easter theme. This is out of date, so we want to go ahead and find the most recent theme that's built out for the series. Usually it is labeled by the series. So right here we have the Switch themes. I'm going to go ahead and open it, and I'm just noticing that this is misspelled. So why don't I change that now? Actually, first, let me just go ahead and switch this theme over. Before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and open up the Switch themes. And we have a black and a white. We know that the background is black, so we want the Switch Preach white. So I'm going to select that theme slide, and then I'm going to hit show. And now we see it drops in the correct theme. Basically, just as a reminder, that macros, if they have an audience look with a theme on them, which this macro does, it will automatically overwrite whatever previous theme was on a slide. So if I went to edit this slide and I added, let's say, a song theme, our 2024 Easter theme on it. As you see, it shows up as the Easter theme, but using the macro, it will overwrite it. I'm going to switch this back just for the sake of consistency. But yeah, it will overwrite it. One of the things that we always want to do as soon as we get into our location and download the ProPresenter playlist is to go over every single slide. Make sure it shows up. Make sure it shows up on your screen correctly. So, for example, these, even though the macro is correct, they look like the placement I feel like the placement is a little low. So I'm going to take a mental note of that. And then look at here. First Chronicle 4:10 is kind of on top of our theme. So I want to edit that as well. All right. So one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the top. Here there's an ellipses. It's going to open a drop down. We're going to go to theme editor. And you'll see all our different themes here. We're just going to go ahead and select the switch themes. And then we're going to edit our white one. One of the things that I saw is that the statement here is a little too low. So I'm actually just going to expand this box to accommodate a larger statement. And then remember, our scripture was kind of overlapping the theme or the background slide. It's because this text box is a little bit too wide. So I'm just going to make it smaller. Now, remember that this is the theme editor. We are not editing the exact slide, but because we edited the theme itself, it will automatically show up on our slides because we have that macro that applies this theme. So let's go over to our trouble slides here. First Chronicles 4:10. I didn't hit the macro first. Let me hit the macro first. Always remember to hit the macro first, which is that first slide. And it seems like it's still looking a little whack there. And then this honor one as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit edit slide. And we can tell that this is under scripture quote and not statement. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to open this box up on theme editor, which is scripture quote, to kind of bring it a little bit higher. Now let's go to our other trouble slide, which is our Chronicles slide. And yes, it seems like it's still a little too wide. So I'm going to go back to theme editor, go to reference, make that smaller. And now I'm going to go to our scripture quote box. And I'm just going to drag that up a little bit. Great. So let's go ahead and click our macro first. And we'll check. As you can tell, this kind of box went up just a little bit, and so did the rest of these, which honestly looks great. All right, now let's check our Chronicles slide, and it looks great, but we can see that there's a little bit of an overlap there on the scripture itself. So we'll go back to theme editor, scripture, and I'll just make that a little bit smaller. Hit the macro first, and we're looking mighty nice.